What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today we're going to be talking about some Shangri-La Frontier. Now, Shangri-La Frontier, it is a series that I've seen going on the internet for a little while because when you have cover art and a main character that looks like this, a guy with kind of like a blue bird head holding twin daggers, that's going to stick in your mind. Well, recently, this series got announced for anime, which we'll talk about later in the video. Uh, but I decided to go ahead and give it a shot. So, Shangri-La Frontier, it is published in Shonen Magazine, and as of today, it is currently at 91 chapters. So, funny thing about me and this series and me recording this is that I had did an initial recording of me reading the first 51 chapters, and then I was going to maybe do something else later on. Well, between me recording that and now, they officially not only officially announced the anime, but they also gave us the actual trailer for it. And so I was like, you know what? My last video or the previous one is kind of has some like irrelevant information. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just scrap it and just do it again. But anywho, Shangri-La Frontier, for those who do not know, it is a series that follows a main character who is known for playing bad games. And so those of y'all that see the video or see the image or whatever, or maybe if you follow me on Twitter, y'all saw me tweeting about it. But our main character, aka Sun Raku, is his online name. So he is known for playing crappy games. And I mean like games that are broken, buggy, glitchy, all that stuff. And so he kind of prides himself on playing these garbage games, but conquering them and beating them. Well, one day he decides to give a kind of like a bigger mainstream title game called Shangri-La Frontier. Now, majority of the games that they cover in the series, they are like a VR game. So kind of think of it kind of like a Sword Art Online situation, minus the dying, minus the real life death if you die in the game. Because this series, you kind of see the characters kind of going in and out of the game and stuff. But so that's kind of the basic setup of it. But the thing that I like really love about Shangri-La Frontier, because I feel like anybody that is a gamer of any sort or fashion, you're gonna immediately fall in love with this series because the art and stuff of it looks really dope. The characters are really fun, and the lore and world building of the game that they're in is some of my recent favorite. Because I would kind of describe the game of Shangri-La Frontier that they're in. It, like I said, it like from like the VR thing, whatever. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Sword Art Online, and I also heard a buddy of mine also throw in a Log Horizon. So think of those kind of things, but then like I honestly would say it kind of has some touches of kind of maybe like if you've ever played any of like the Dark Souls type of games, as well as maybe have also read Solo Leveling, because in this game, so when he kind of gets started with the game or whatever, it goes through all the general typical things of a kind of like a role-playing game. So you start with the character customization. You get to pick all your different skills and perks and weapons, your character backstory, and all that stuff. And so that's kind of what leads to him having the just the bird head or whatever, because kind of like those of y'all that know of people within like the Dark Souls community and stuff, whatever, is that sometimes they like to go into the game with minimum equipment, just for the sake of the challenge, and that's what he does. So he just gets the bird head, maybe like a little like a belt thing or whatever, and he picks twin daggers. And because of his character backstory, he picked Wanderer. He just gets randomly spawned into the wilderness between, or like near the first town, and thus his adventure begins. So he kind of is just going through fighting these different enemies and stuff that he's encountering, and of course he's leveling up, unlocking new skills, so on and so forth. Well, he eventually, as he's playing or whatever, basically gets to a point to where he finds himself on the map closer to the second town. So he's thinking, you know what, I don't need to go to the first town. I'll just fight the area boss and move on. Well, that thick-headedness of his continues to bite him in the butt sometimes in funny ways, because there are certain moments like later on in the series to where when one of his buddies starts to play the game as well, so this kind of color spread that I'm showing now on the video version, all of these characters that you see up here, they are people. Some of them are friends he have in real life. Some of them are just friends that he's met through playing games over the years. And they all kind of like float game to game together or whatever. And so that's how some of these characters got into this game, was because they're like, man, where is Sunraku been at? Like, I haven't seen him log into whatever other game in months. And then people are like, oh yeah, I heard he's been playing SLF, or short for Shangri-La Frontier. And so there's some moments to where, his friends are like, all right, hey, equip this, or hey, let's go and, unlock these skills. And he's like, what are you talking about? And then come to find out it's stuff that you learn at the beginning of the game in the first town that he missed because he skipped that introductory area. Because he was the type of person to where when the game first started, he just hit skip cutscene. So he skipped all the introductory backstory and stuff, whatever, just because he just wanted to get in and just to play. Now, like I said, like throughout the series or whatever, like I said, it really hits with like the sense of wonder, and it's kind of funny that I'm re-recording this now, because yesterday I just went back to playing a little bit of Horizon Forbidden West, and in that game, as well as like I said, like with the Souls games and different stuff like that or whatever, it is that sense of the unknown and you running across new enemies, new creatures or whatever, and you're like, oh, what is this thing? Let's figure out how to defeat it. And that is just like one of like the joys of this series, is like he's running into all these various creatures, and he's got to learn new tactics and new ways to fight and stuff, whatever. But probably one of the dopest aspects of this series is the freaking unique enemies. So the game of Shangri-La Frontier in the series, it has been out for a little over a year, maybe close to 2 years or so, whatever. But there are, I believe, 7 or 8 of these like unique enemies that nobody has managed to take down, and people have only actually like managed to even get the names or identify only 2 to 3 of the 7 or 8 unique monsters. And so pretty early on in the series, Sunraku encounters what is the name of this thing? It's basically this kind of like giant freaking like shadow wolf. I think what is it called? I think it's called like Night Prowler Lycan, something like that or whatever. But he encounters this thing pretty early on, and he has a unique encounter with it to where it basically starts unlocking, unique side quests and hidden areas and all this different stuff, whatever, that he gained just from having this encounter with it. And that's kind of like one of like the joys and mysteries of the series, is like the people within the world trying to figure out, okay, what exactly are the requirements to trigger these creatures to spawn. And so there's even like a whole guild and group dedicated to trying to research and to like collect all bits and pieces of information and lore within the world. And it's just like stuff like that is just so dope. But yeah, but this giant shadow wolf was the first one that they encountered, as well as this kind of like robotic samurai thing. I think it's called like Wiseamon or something like that or whatever. Man, both of the fights, like all of the fights in general in the series are dope, but the fights and stuff against these characters were a whole nother level. But and without, of course, trying not to give away, spoil too much or whatever. But um, later on within these set of chapters that I read, uh, it was like I said, just the reoccurring theme of the mystery, and people wanted to get information and stuff like that or whatever, because they see Son Raku, he gets marked with basically like a curse mark from the wolf because he doesn't beat it, because like he encountered it like within hours or within like his first day of playing the game or whatever. It was just like a set of just different things he did with various enemies that he had beaten and weapons he had acquired or whatever, just caused this thing to spawn. And as a way of it acknowledging his strength, it put a curse mark on him, to where the downside is that because of the curse mark, he can no longer equip he can't equip gear on like his upper torso, his legs, his arms, and stuff like that or whatever. But the benefit of that is that any enemies that he encounters that is lower level than him will automatically be stricken with fear. So kind of like stuff like that, it kind of gives that kind of like a give and take of things. But one of just like the most exciting aspects of it is just going along and seeing how everyone is just adjusting to these new things changing. And even the admins, the people behind making the game, they're surprised because slight spoilers, but like a little bit later on, Son Raku and crew, some of his friends, they end up taking down one of these unique monsters, but they weren't really supposed to, because the enemies kind of like scale. And so story and lore wise, the one that they took down was like a mid to end game boss that they took down first. And so it just caused a domino effect, to where there was like an announcement once the beast was defeated, to where it was like, all right, hey, the world story has now progressed. And it's like, yo, what does that mean? Everybody in the world, all the people that's been playing since day one for years, are like, we have no clue what this means. We have no clue what's about to change. And then, like I said, you have the admins, people actually working on the game, that are like, yo, who are these people that managed to beat this thing? And it's kind of messing up their plans that they had for rolling out the story or whatever. But yeah, but just overall, it is just a freaking fantastic read. Like I said, if you enjoy gaming, if you enjoy series with dope action and really great world building and stuff, then Shangri-La Frontier is one I highly recommend reading, or also watching, because like I mentioned, they had announced, whoops, sorry, trying to adjust a little bit. They had announced the anime for Shangri-La Frontier, and it just looks so freaking fantastic. Just like seeing so many moments, so many characters and stuff just brought to life. It just looks so freaking good. And so whether, like I said, whether y'all happen to come across and to read it, and this rabbit here, his name is Vash, loved it. But yeah, but whether y'all decide to pick it up and read it now, or y'all wait for the anime to drop next year or whatever, it is going to be a fantastic time. I can guarantee you that. Because like I said, just from what I read alone is good, but seeing even just a bit from this trailer, because this trailer is like freaking 4 minutes long. So of course the trailer shows a lot of stuff, but yeah, it is definitely one, like I said, that I want y'all to put on y'all's radar. as to be on the lookout for, because like I said, it is one that you will not want to miss. Uh, but yeah, Shangri-La Frontier, like I said, I have read all the current 91 chapters, and it seems like, I don't know why, but it seems like it might be on a slight break or hiatus or something, whatever, which sucks, but I am still glad that I managed to read it and to give it a chance for myself, because like I said, it has not disappointed in any sense of the word. And so yeah. So Shangri-La Frontier, like I said, y'all know I love finding stuff to put on y'all's radar. I will say also, I think that they're gonna actually finally come out the with the official English physical releases of Shangri-La Frontier. Let me confirm that real quick. Okay, yeah. I just checked and confirmed. Yeah, the volumes are going to start releasing physically in English in August. So, and then I think we should, maybe depending on how dates and stuff go, they're gonna have at least 3 volumes out by the end of this year, 2022. But yeah, Shangri-La Frontier, like I said, keep it on your radar. Like I said, whether you go online and read it now, or you read it when the physicals drop in the coming months, or you wait for the anime to come next year, it is going to be a fun and freaking fantastic time. And so with that, I am done. Thank you so much for listening and or watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and all that fun stuff. And just know that, hey, here at Danny's Talk, it's all about fatherhood, manga, anime, and sometimes video games. And with that being said, treat yourself to something nice. Watch some manga, or read some manga. Watch some anime, play some video games, and live your best life. And with that, your boy is out. Peace.